guys, it's Sim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. First night's Raw does go. I thought it was a pretty good show. I wouldn't call it great or anything, but I would say it was pretty good. Not a bad Raw. A little underwhelmed with the main event, I will say that. I mean, we got the double DQ, which is then just leading to the triple threat, and Rhea beat everybody's ass and stuff. So it was just kind of like, if I had to give a negative to this show, I was a little let down with the last match and whatnot and closing angle deal coming off of that. But otherwise, I thought it was a pretty good show. Not great, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, for a show, what are we? 3 weeks out from WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think we are 3 weeks.
For a show 3 weeks out for WrestleMania, I did expect more. I mean, that Gunther Usos segment, holy shit. But then everything else was kind of just like, oh, we're building up that. Okay, cool. What? So, I mean, it wasn't a bad show, easy to watch. But I'm expecting more on the road to WrestleMania. But we also got Luke over here with us. Luke, what did you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw?
I thought Monday Night Raw was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I mean, to be fair, I woke up during the Cena and Cody segment when they were both in the ring. So, but I thought it was a good show. Hey, we got Tyler Bate back.
Yes, that was good. And fucker just lost in his first match back in 8-9 months.
Dude looks like he was back when he won the UK title.
Yep, cut his hair back. He cut that right after the surgery he had, because he posted on his social media his recovery stuff.
Looks like a 20-year-old man again.
I like Pat when they were coming to the ring and he was like, Tyler Bate had to climb that mustache mountain to get back here. And I was like, oh, he knows the references.
Yeah, it was an okay show. I wouldn't say it was great. And plus, I do have an announcement to make. So I got a few questions from people asking me if I was going to be in Backlash, like when they announced that they were going to be in St. Louis. And I will be going to Backlash.
Nice.
It is confirmed. I will be going. So if anyone is planning on going to Backlash and you see me, come say hi. So I will be going to Backlash, and I think it's going to be a fun show to go to. I really do.
And what date is that on? May
10th.
10th. Okay. I knew it was May something. I just wasn't sure what date. That's awesome. So yeah, if you guys see Luke there, give him a high five, give him a hey, what's up, dab him up, whatever you kids say these days. But yeah, no, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We did get a new WrestleMania match announced. They did announce officially Logan Paul and AJ Styles. So that is happening. And they basically set up the 3-way for the Women's Championship, the 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. And we'll get into talking about all of that here in a moment. But I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe with a tier subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button to become a channel member. As a channel member, you get access to emotes and emojis, all of our graphics packages, graphics tutorials, and so much more. And remember, to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, they got all the new Mortal Kombat skins in Fortnite right now. They've got Raiden, they've got Scorpion, and I think they got Katana as well. I haven't fully checked it out, but I'm pretty sure it's Raiden, Scorpion, and Katana right now for sale for Fortnite. So when you go and get those, use this code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Also, the Epic Spring Sale is going on right now for another week or so, I think 9 more days, to go over there and take advantage of their multitude of savings, whether you're getting Ghost of Tsushima, Alan Wake 2, God of War, Spider-Man Remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales 2, or so much more. But with all of that, we got Raw to talk about that kicked off with AJ Styles, or not AJ Styles, CM Punk. No. Wow, I can't speak right now. John Cena, thank you. My screen flashed when I went off the Epic Store to Twitter, and literally there was a tweet that showed CM Punk, and then a tweet that showed AJ, and I was like, oh, what? Yeah. Dyslexia screws with you so bad when you see things and you're trying to say something else. Anyways, John Cena comes out. Of course, boos from everybody in London. It's the second show that they did in the O2 Arena because SmackDown was also in the same building. And so Cena comes out and gets to the mic, and before he can say anything, out comes Cody Rhodes. Cody makes his way out to the ring and kind of, lays it into Cody. Or it's John talking about how, people are always afraid to come at you on the mic, and people think that they can't hang, but I'm here. The crowd thunderously sings Cody's theme song and then does the Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. And I'm just glad that Cody cut it down and didn't let it just go as long as he did on SmackDown, because he let them sing for a while, 2 or 3 times on SmackDown. And I was just like, okay, thank you. We don't need that again. That was just way too long. So Cody gets into the ring. They're singing for him and whatnot. Cena approaches Rhodes and lifts the microphone, but Rhodes cuts him off. Rhodes says that they've listened to him talk for 2 weeks now. We don't need a third. Rhodes is going to do John Cena's job for him. Rhodes said, what, are you going to cook me? You going to end me? Rhodes asked, where should I start? You going to make fun of me? I got a lisp. S's don't really work for me. Like when I say sawdust. So he's making fun of himself, Rhodes says that Cena has to be bothered that he'll be battling Stardust in his final WrestleMania. What else can Cena go at? Rhodes says, I got an arm tattoo on my neck. Is that a funny one too? Crowd starts chanting for Cody again. Rhodes acknowledges the red hot crowd. Rhodes says, he got booed in a company he created. First of 2 AEW references here. Rhodes knew that Cena wouldn't bite at any of this. He's trying to say things that are knocks on Cody that Cena could jab at him with, but Cena wasn't biting. Cena wasn't playing along with the champion. Rhodes says that he's struggling with the idea that Superman is really dead. Well, let's go Cena. Cena sucks chant fires up. Cena puts his head down and shakes it in disappointment. Rhodes says that brings him to his next point. Cena's words haven't matched his actions. Rhodes thinks that Cena has lied to the audience for the past few weeks. He knows Cena cared about him at one point, but he knows for sure that Cena cared about the crowd. Rhodes tells Cena to tell them why. The crowd then chants to John Cena, you sold out. You sold out. Cena says that he won't reduce himself to punch down to Cody's level. Rhodes has been protected for long enough. Cena also isn't going to cook Rhodes. He's going to bury him, just like he buried everybody else. They've been saying for years that John Cena buries talent. Cena doesn't bury talent. Cena says, quote, I am talent. I bury mediocrity. Cena doesn't care about Rhodes' lisp or his failures. Rhodes has manipulated his way to the top of this business. Rhodes' ego outmatches his ability. All Rhodes has done is ride the coattails of John Cena's success. He said, I made this place what it is so you can come here and be successful. Cena has been so great that WWE had to hand the heartbeat of this organization to John's old chauffeur. Cody Rhodes, your champion, is nothing more than John Cena's chauffeur. He used to drive me around. Cena says that Rhodes is a slimy pickpocket who thinks that he can run the kingdom because he stole the blueprint. That is Cody Rhodes' why. Rhodes, with the title, discuss him. Rhodes sat by him for years and stole every secret he had to be undeniable, but he's still underwhelming. Cena tried to drill it into the egotistical skull of Cody Rhodes. Cena told Rhodes to be authentic because they can see through his phoniness. Rhodes didn't listen, and it shows. Rhodes is too perfect, polished, and rehearsed. Rhodes relies on lazy gimmicks like crowds singing his name to get by. The crowd sings Cody's name again. Cena says that Rhodes is like the Pied Piper because he took a catchy tune and made it into loving mediocrity. He said, strip away the music, strip away the entrance, and there's nothing to look at except a pinstripe suit. Cena says, quote, you can walk me out here in silence and bet your last dollar that I would body you before your first breath. Cena says that Cody doesn't look like him, act like him, or work like him. Rhodes doesn't even act, look, or work like himself. After all these years, Rhodes is afraid to show the world who he really is. Rhodes instead gives a generic mix of every superstar he's ever loved or every TV character he's ever watched. He's a big, confused blob. Rhodes is like a 16-year-old kid taking acting classes who is afraid of public speaking. Rhodes has shown Cena only one thing. Someone meteoric wearing something meaningful is enough to trick these people. Cena has worked too damn hard to make that title a symbol of mastery, to have it parade around just a paint by numbers sociopath who is so into himself that he's nothing more than a wrestling gimmick that's tattooed on his neck. He says that he'll get at Rhodes at WrestleMania, and so Cody can then go straight to Fanatics and buy himself a toy belt. The crowd is starting to chant for Cena. Cena says, that's your why, pal. Rhodes says that Cena may be right, but he may be chosen. But I was chosen by them. You were chosen by a guy in the back that's no longer here that we're not allowed to talk about. The crowd gasps at the reference of, well, Vince McMahon of all people. That one shocked me. He said, who the hell knows who they are? He's Cody Rhodes, for heaven's sakes. He's a wrestler like his father before him. If anybody is a company creation, it's John Cena, not Cody Rhodes. Everyone is terrified of Cena on the microphone. Rhodes says, quote, I'm not, because I know you've got more dick in this promo than you do in them jorts. Cena wants to make fun of him for appearing like a 16-year-old kid, yet Cena likes hanging out with Zac Efron and wishes he was still 16. And I go, whoa. You just called John Cena a pedophile? That line kind of came off like he was calling Cena a pedophile. He literally said, you like hanging out with Zac Efron and wish he was still 16. What the fuck? That was a weird one. How many movies has he done with Zac Efron? Just the one, right? Ricky Stenicki? The only one I can think of.
I don't know.
Because I know he did the Ricky Stenicki movie, which is actually really funny. It wasn't a great movie, but if you want like just turn all distractions off and laugh movie, go watch Ricky Stenicki on Amazon. It's really good. Anyways, Cena claims to have created all of this, as well as Rhodes himself. All Cena did was create a lot of disfranchised fans who made it easy for him to pack up and go elsewhere. Cena should not act like he left WWE better than he found it. While we're at it, there are two of them standing in this ring. Rhodes is going to ask something that'll punch a hole into the logic between the two of them. Who sold out to The Rock? Crowd starts chanting, "You sold out, you sold out." Cena says that Rhodes is just like all these people. His brain is filled with fences and not, feces and not facts. Cena says that he worked 100 times harder than everybody. And it shows because he builds empires for billionaires when all you do are take their kids' money. And I'm like, oh, second AEW reference. There's a Tony Khan shot right there. You think someone on AEW is going to bite back at some of these comments? Dynamite or whatnot?
That's a tricky one. I don't know.
Right?
I can see someone being like, "Oh, like someone thinks they can talk crap about us somewhere else, but people think we're not allowed to talk crap about them back."
I could see like maybe not going that far, but I can see maybe like Taz or Excalibur making a witty reference on commentary. Well, I mean, shit. Ricky Stark's part of his gimmick in NXT is that he burned all the bridges at the last company he was at and he can never go back. That's what they're playing up in NXT. That like he burned the bridges at the last place he was and they will never take him back. So I'm like, okay, sure. But wrapping all this up, we're getting towards the end of all this. It did go long. I did feel very long, but where was I? Cena's still going off on Cody before Cody says, "Hey, at least they've never chanted at me. You can't wrestle." He says this as Cena was leaving the ring. There's a light, faint kind of "you can't wrestle chant from the crowd. But this fires up John Cena. He then looks so bad. This was dumb. He goes like this. He goes back into the ring at Cody. He's like, like, "I want to fight you, but I'm not allowed to touch you right now," or something. I don't know. It was weird. And so like they're kind of staring at each other. It gets a little awkward. Cena then goes to strike Cody. Cody grabs him crossroads, and there we go. Rhodes picks up the title and Cena's hat. We're throwing the hat on Cena. Rhodes then holds up the belt and leaves. I mean, this was good. It could have been about 4 or 5 minutes shorter. But I thought it was good. What did you think of this? I know you came into like halfway through. Of what you saw, what did you think?
That was pretty good. I thought this was the best one yet.
Yes, it was. For sure.
I thought it was kind of cool that they ended in a brawl.
Brawl-ish. He's a good brawl, light brawl. It was like Cena went for the punch, Cody ducked it, grabbed him crossroads. So at least they somewhat got physical finally. Yeah. So technically, John's got the better of Cody once. Cody's gotten the better of John once. Now here's my question. We have, and I know you can't answer this, no one can really answer this right now, 2 more Raws and 3 more SmackDowns before WrestleMania. Is Cena going to show up on any of those?
I have no clue.
He's not announced for any of those. He actually is not announced for another show till after Mania. So that's my one weird thing. It's like, okay, Cena did all the overseas stuff. Is he going to be on any of these? He's got to at least be on that, the 14th Raw? I think it's the 14th. That last Raw before Mania. He's at least got to be on that one or that SmackDown the night before night 1. So
I could totally see them like doing a segment where like Cena does like records a video saying like I'm too good to be in this crowd. They don't deserve me.
Right. But here's my thing. I feel like what Cena's talking about, I'm going to take the title and leave. You guys don't deserve to see the belt. It's like he's a mix of 2011 CM Punk and current John Moxley. You guys don't deserve to see the belt. I'm going to win it, take it, and leave with it. Like, Moxley right now is saying fans don't deserve to see the belt. And that's what Punk did when he beat Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. He beat him, took the belt, and left, per se.
Well, Mox still has the belt. He just keeps it in that briefcase
Right,
so
right.
no one can
So
see it.
that's why I'm saying current John Moxley, because that's what Moxley does. You guys don't deserve to see the belt. That's what Cena said last week. So I don't know. We're gonna get a heel John Cena as the champion. I'm still 100% thinking he's winning that belt. There's no way Cena's losing. I don't think.
He has to win because what's gonna happen is he's gonna win the belt. I assume after Mania they might have Cody take some time off as for like storyline purposes. I mean, won't you think?
Depending on how the match goes, I could see it. I wouldn't be shocked if Cody maybe misses the Backlash show and then comes back right after Backlash.
I mean, I'd be kind of sad if he did, but
Now, here's the other question. Do they not have Cena, or I keep getting them mixed up, Cena, Cody, CC, whatever. Do they not have Cody take time off, and that next night on Raw or that next SmackDown, he immediately says, I want my rematch, and I wanted a Backlash, and they just don't give him any time off, and he just immediately goes right back into, I'm going to challenge you and get my belt back.
no, give us some time. I think that St. Louis show is probably going to be Cena versus Randy.
That would be pretty good. We've never seen... Well, I mean, I can say for sure we've never seen a heel Cena babyface Randy.
Flip it around, be like,
yeah,
hey, this isn't the you that I fought all these years.
Yeah, because we've never seen Cena as the heel, Cody or Randy as the babyface. Now, maybe in OVW when he was the prototype, but even at that, I don't know. Never on the main roster, of course. I am interested to see where it goes. I'm not saying that Mania this year feels a little lackluster. I'm just interested to see where, for me, I don't know what it is, but usually Mania is supposed to feel like the end of the season, and then everything, keeps going from there. But for me, I don't feel like this year's Mania is like a end of the season. It's more like a, hey, we're going to get to there just so we can see what's next. Mania, for some reason, at least to me, and I don't know, I'll ask you, doesn't feel as big as it usually does. Doesn't feel as like, oh, this is the show of shows, the biggest of bigs. It just feels like, oh yeah, this is as big as like a SummerSlam. Or, I don't know how you feel, if you feel different, but it just doesn't feel like this is the most important show of the year this year. Something about it. And maybe it's because so many of the multi-man matches and a lot of these matches feel similar and I don't know. How are you feeling about the build to Mania?
I don't know. At least to me, I don't know if it feels like that big because, neither of the Rumble winners are main eventing either night. So I feel like that kind of kills it.
So that's something they need to change. They need to change saying that the winners of the Rumble main event WrestleMania. What they need to say is the winners of the Rumble get a guaranteed world title shot at WrestleMania. That's the new verbiage they need to go with.
I do feel like there's quite a few, maybe too many multi-man matches. I mean, you got CM Punk, Rollins, and Roman.
There's one.
You got the IC title match that's going to be a multi-man.
There's two.
The women's world title match is going to be a multi-woman match.
Tag titles on SmackDown most likely going to be like a 5-way.
She's a 5-way?
Well, it's going to be Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, maybe a 4-way. No. DIY and Los Garza. I can see it being all 5 teams. So it could be a 5-way there. There's 4, multi-person matches. We don't know. We don't know for the U.S. title. For all we know, U.S. title could be a triple threat as well. It could end up being LA Knight defending against both Braun and Jacob.
No Shinsuke?
No, Shinsuke's not involved in that. It's all Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu, and LA Knight for the last 2 weeks on SmackDown. 3 weeks.
What do they do with Solo then? Solo's not going to wrestle at Mania?
So Meltzer had reported about a month ago, there's online speculation that we could get Solo versus Jacob at Mania, yet he was told one of them is in a match that doesn't involve the other. So I assume that's Jacob in something, not a match against Solo.
Probably Jacob versus LA Knight versus Braun.
Right. Unless they want to say, hey, the winner of the last man standing match this Friday on SmackDown gets a title shot. And then it's just a singles match. I don't know. I could see some bullshit happening in that and it becoming a triple threat and this and that. But yeah, I could see like 4 or 5 multi-man matches. And we don't even know what we're doing with the women's tag titles, women's IC title, women's US title. The women's US title might just be Zelina Vega, but that could be a SmackDown match.
I don't think they have that belt defended at Mania, unfortunately.
And then it's like Lyra and Bailey are doing a women's IC title match next week on Raw. What do they do? Does that title get a Mania match? I don't know. I'm a little. Usually 3 weeks out, we know basically all the card. There's so much of what are they doing with this and what are they doing with that? And I guess it's because it's hard. It's harder because we have to predict and figure out 2 nights now.
Yeah. I mean, Jade versus Naomi most likely at Mania.
Good chance. Yet, I wouldn't be shocked if that's like the SmackDown the night before main event or something.
SmackDown main event going into Mania.
The night before night 1, yeah, that Friday.
They just do like a street fight.
Sure. That'd be pretty cool.
And then winner of that like faces the champion at Backlash.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't put a number 1 contendership on it. It doesn't need to be because there's a backstory here, so it doesn't need any kind of stipulation as far as like what does the winner get.
It doesn't need to be a number 1 contender, but at least it could be like one of those rivalries where like someone gets momentum out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure, momentum. Yeah, I just don't think. I just don't think Backlash would be when they would get a title shot. If that makes sense, like too soon.
Well, the thing with Backlash though, I just don't want it to be like a bunch of rematches though.
It's what it's been. Rematches. What it's been the last 3 or 4 years.
Last year, not really.
True, not as much.
Last year it was AJ versus Cody in the main event. We got
that Puerto Rico. That Puerto Rico one was though.
A little bit, and
kinda. That was like 3 years ago, though.
Wasn't that the one we got? Seth Rollins versus Omos.
I believe so. Brock and Cody.
That really wasn't that many rematches.
It just feels like it was.
It felt
like it, but now that I think about it, it really wasn't. It
really wasn't. Yeah. It was just kind of just wrapping up some rivalries, if you really think about it.
Right.
It was wrapping up the LWO versus the Judgment Day.
Yes.
But that was kind of it.
We do have a couple of bit donations here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says, wow, John Cena and Cody Rhodes reference Vince McMahon, Tony Khan, and AEW in their promo battle. And what do you think of WWE NXT's crossover battle with Stardom as part of Bloodsport? There's nothing to that. Like, that means nothing. Just because, what is it? Carmen Petrovich, I think is what it is going to face off against someone from Stardom at Bloodsport. That means absolutely nothing. It's not the internet's trying to make it more than it is. It is not no crossover battle or this. No, the internet's trying to make it more than it is for clicks on their websites or their YouTube videos or their podcasts. That's all it is. Oh my God, NXT and Stardom are working together. I thought Stardom worked with News or AEW. Like, no, people are just trying to make that a thing for clicks and views and social media engagement. He says, where was it? How AEW feels because Stardom's partnership with, again, it's nothing. They couldn't care less. Mina leaving Stardom, go to AEW, but Mina saying she wants to go to WWE in the future to face Asuka now that Asuka has friends from Stardom on social media. Again, there's nothing to that. Nothing to any of that. It's just you're hearing chatter and probably reading tweets and write-ups and seeing TikToks from people trying to make things something that they aren't for engagement online. He also says, Gunther beat down on Jimmy Uso is the only way to heat up the feud with Jey Uso. Yes. That was starting to get a little boring and stiff. But after tonight, whoop, boy. And he says, where's The Rock now? And also Travis Scott. And does that mean they are not in the plans for WrestleMania 41 anymore? I have no clue what's going on with The Rock. If you guys have been paying attention since Elimination Chamber, I know at least in the 3 face-to-face offs that they've had with Cena and Cody, tonight was the first night they mentioned Rock, and they barely mentioned him. But I don't even know if Cody really even mentioned him that week after Elimination Chamber, that Cena wasn't there. So, like, I was getting to the impression, like, they want us to forget Rock was involved or something. I don't know. Very weird how little they've mentioned Rock. And then the only thing that they've mentioned for Travis Scott is one of his songs is a official theme song of WrestleMania. So now there's 2. But as we move forward, Io Sky, they talked about how Io Sky will defend the Women's Championship tonight against Rhea Ripley. They talked about Bianca being the referee. The New Day, they make their way out to the ring. Commentators run down the WrestleMania week festivities in Las Vegas. They say this is the 15th Monday Night Raw and the 37th television event from London for WWE. New Day stand in the ring. They're waiting for, someone to tell them who their opponents are going to be because they don't know. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce then comes out and says, Adam Pearce comes out onto the stage and says he told New Day they'd have to earn opportunities. And what better opportunity than to face some local boys in the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne, and the returning Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate has been gone since July when he suffered a torn pectoral muscle in an NXT match where he and Pete Dunne were taking on Hank and Tank. So great to see Tyler Bate back. Pat McAfee made a Mustache Mountain reference on commentary, which was cool to hear. So great match. I thought these 2 teams worked very well together. Unfortunately, New Catch Republic lost. Tyler Bate loses his first match back, which was kind of shocking, but not when you see the opponents of the New Day and you realize that the plan for New Day is to challenge the War Raiders at WrestleMania for the tag titles, which should be a hell of a match. New Day versus War Raiders. Oh boy. As far as this match, go for it.
Unless they do like a triple threat, War Raiders versus New Day versus LWO.
Trying to think what the LWO's really been. No, the LWO's just been feuding with Gable's crew. So they're not really involved in like going for the tag titles. So no, I don't see it.
So question, if they do War Raiders versus New Day at Mania, do you think Big E gets involved and screw overs the New Day?
No, because I haven't heard anything of him being allowed to be any kind of physical. So no. Unless they're keeping it super secret.
Unless he's like sitting ringside or something.
But no, because even if they were to Big E distracted them, why would they be distracted by a guy who they know is not going to get involved? You know what I mean? I get where you're coming from, and it would actually work perfectly in the story. It's just last I heard, which is 2-3 weeks ago, maybe now, Big E had still not been cleared to do anything physical in WWE. Like he can go work out in the gym, and I don't even know if he's allowed to take a bump in just like training. That's the thing. I don't even know if he can just at least with like Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson. Yes, he can't go have a real wrestling match, but he can go out there at his little training school thing and roll around and take slight bumps with the people he's helping train. But he's not going to be cleared to do anything on WWE television. Did you know he almost worked a match like a week and a half ago in Vegas? Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson.
I did not know that actually.
So they did the FSW in Vegas did the Chris Bay tribute show, and he was actually in talks to work the show, but because he had to be overseas for WWE and the SmackDown the night before, he couldn't make it. But they were going to have him do like a grappling match because he can grapple, but he can't have like a full-on wrestling match taking bumps and stuff. But he can get in a ring and grapple. They were in talks for him to do that, and it fell through because his schedule didn't line up.
Oh.
Yeah. Kind of like a Shibata thing, where Shibata was hurt, almost died. New Japan was like, you're never going to wrestle again. So do you know the whole story with that and like Shibata having his first New Japan match after almost dying?
Well, I know like he headbutted Okada
Yes.
and like, and I heard that and it was like, geez, that sounded terrible.
And like bleeding on the brain. They thought he was going to die from it or whatever. So like 3-4 years after that, New Japan finally cleared him to get in the ring. But they told him, grappling match. I think it was with Shota Umino, maybe. I can't remember exactly who. They were like, you're not having a real match. You're not taking any bumps. No shots to the head. No nothing like that. And apparently, as we saw with the match, that's not how it went. Because the word is that they got to the ring and basically he told Umino, hey, I'm just going to call it. And they had a real match. They called the whole thing in the ring at Wrestle Kingdom. And like they were not happy with him that he had a real match and didn't tell them. And they told him no. And then Tony Khan cleared him and signed him. And now he works AEW and Ring of Honor. And has gone back to New Japan and worked a match or two since then. Like a real match. But yeah, that was the whole thing. But yeah, TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd almost worked a grappling match at the Chris Bay tribute show. Well, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I want to say it was. Anyways, as far as this match does go, the tag match, Tyler Bate started things off with Xavier Woods. The crowd chants, welcome back to Bate. They lock up and Bate wrenches the arm before dropping down on a grapevine of the head. Bate climbs up the ropes and tags in Pete Dunne. Bate takes Woods down and Dunne connects with the clothesline. Dunne controls Woods' arms and stomps it. Bate tags in and leaps over Dunne with a rolling senton on Woods. Bate then blows a kiss to Kofi Kingston. Kingston charges, but Bate gives him a back body drop over the top rope. Loud ass noise coming from outside. Can you hear that? Like a banging sound?
I can hear some cars going by my apartment.
No, there's like a banging coming from outside my house, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if you can hear it or not. It was distracting me. Anyways, if you didn't hear it, you didn't hear it. Cool. We'll barrel on. Dunne takes Kingston out with a flying knee off the apron. Bate then floors Woods with the somersault plancha. A little bit later, after a commercial break, the New Day send Dunne into the ropes, but he kicks them down. Dunne stomps Woods' hand and kicks Kingston. Dunne flips through a back suplex attempt. Bate tags in and punches Woods back. Woods quickly drops Bate on the apron. Dunne then stuns him with a knee. They set up for a double team, but Kingston thwarts him. Woods then tags Kingston in, and they hit a daybreak, their new combo finisher deal. Pick up the victory. So yeah, very shocked, but not shocked at the same time. Tyler Bate lost his first match back in 9 months, but I thought these two teams worked very well together. What'd you think?
I thought these two teams worked pretty well together as well, but kind of mad that Tyler Bate lost in his first match back. So I think this question is Pete Dunne now babyface again?
I would assume if they're no catch, whatever they're what's the team called again?
New Catch Republic.
I keep getting that and no catch quarter crew and NXT mixed up. Yeah.
It's New Catch Republic.
Yeah, New Catch Republic. So I assume if they're a tag team again, if that's just it, if they're just a tag team again, then yeah, I would assume he's a babyface now all of a sudden. No rhyme or reason. Hey, your buddy's back. You don't have to be pissed off at the world anymore. Butch.
I don't know. That kind of feels like all AEW booking, like, oh, it's back to normal. Nothing ever happened.
Oh no. It's WWE Big Show booking. They'd change Big Show from babyface to heel every other week forever. Whatever they needed them at the time.
Yeah, but people will criticize AEW for it though, so
yeah. So after the match, Kathy Kelly stops the New Day in the aisle. She congratulates them on their big win. She asked if tonight is further cementing them and their goal for the tag team titles. And Woods asks, are you slow or something? They deserve the title shot since day one. Kingston demands that they get what they're owed and what they deserve. They want the World Tag Team Championships. And on cue, out come the War Raiders, the World Tag Team Champions. When's the last time we saw, like, they've only worked, 3 matches all year? I want to say.
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up. I feel like they have not worked enough, which is very weird. Let me see. Ivar. How many matches have they had in 2025? One, two, well, more than I thought. Three. No, that's it. Not counting Ivar working Speed, they've only had 3 matches. 1 a month. Also, if you guys didn't watch Ivar and Speed and his Speed tournament matches, well, those were fun as hell. Especially Ivar versus Inamura. That was a really good 2.5 minute match. The War Raiders come out. Pat and Wade Barrett, also forgot to mention Wade Barrett was the 3rd man on commentary tonight. Pat and Wade Barrett have too much fun going, Raw is Wall, like 2 or 3 times. And yeah, basically they're setting up here. Deck title shot. We get a replay of last week's Raw. Jey Uso, who was feeling unsure about himself, tripping himself up, and not really being fully there mentally. Later that night, Jimmy tried to, hype him back up, confronted Gunther, and that set up the match tonight. Jimmy Uso is taping up when main event Jey Uso walks in. Jey says that he'd feel better if he were out there tonight, but Jimmy didn't want him out there. Jimmy says tonight is a bit different. He knows the world is doubting Jey, but he's going to go out there and close the noise and show you that Gunther is not as scary as he seems. He's just another man that you can beat. He is no ring general. He is just a guy. He is a beatable guy that I know you can defeat. I'm going to beat him tonight, and you're going to beat him at WrestleMania. So, Jey got fucking killed. I mean, Jimmy. Jimmy got murdered in this post-match, I guess you could say. So World Heavyweight Champion Gunther is walking backstage. They say that his match is next. We get highlights from the street fight between Triple H and Cactus Jack and Mick Foley at Royal Rumble 2000. They have commentary talking about this. Basically, they've been showing a bunch of Triple H's greatest moments leading up to his Hall of Fame induction. And the one thing Triple H said about this, which he says all the time, that street fight with Mick Foley is what solidified me as someone that the fans saw that can hang in any kind of situation. He said that for years. Also, with this, they also confirmed that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee will be the hosts of this year's WrestleMania Hall of Fame ceremony. He showed a couple celebrities in the crowd. I only knew one of them. Kate Nash, don't know who that is. UFC fighter Michael Venom Page, do know who that is. They showed Charlie Brooker, not sure who that is. And then they showed some singer Louis Capaldi, who was also there for SmackDown. That guy got a big pop. Don't know who he is, though. Bianca Belair was shown backstage talking to referee Sean Bennett. Basically, they were like, yep, Bianca's getting a refresher course on what to do to be a referee because she's never been one before. And then this led to the non-title match. Jimmy Uso versus Gunther. Oh, boy. The bell rings. Gunther smiles. He just looks at Jimmy for a minute. Uso connects with some punches and chops. Uso knocks him into the corner. Gunther, that is. But Gunther explodes with a big boot. Gunther throws Uso out of the ring and whips him into the barricade. Gunther lights him up with some chops to the chest. Gunther chops him around the ringside before driving him back into the barricade. Gunther gets in the ring to break the referee's count. Gunther then pulls at Uso's mouth and trash talks him. Uso at one point does get some sort of comeback. Gunther gets Gunther in the ring and heads to the top rope. Uso goes for an Uso splash, but Gunther gets the knees up. Gunther heads to the top rope, but Uso cuts him off with the right hand. Uso climbs the ropes and connects with a super kick on the World Heavyweight Champion. Uso goes to the top rope for an Uso splash. 1, 2. Gunther kicks out. After a commercial break, Gunther was back in control, taunting Jimmy Uso and allows him to pull himself up. Uso blocks a chop and slaps him in the face. Uso connects with some strikes and a super kick, followed by a German suplex. Uso connects with another super kick. Uso then sizes up the champion and charges at him, but Gunther wipes him out with a big-ass drop kick. Gunther followed this up with a powerbomb. Gunther then goes for the cover. 1-2, but Gunther ain't done. He pulls him up. Gunther then trash talks Uso a little bit more, boots him in the face. At this point, Jimmy's already dead. Jimmy's just out. He goes for a huge ass nasty clothesline. 1-2, pulls him up again. The crowd starts chanting yeet as they need Jay to come out to save his brother. Gunther stands over a broken Jimmy Uso. As he picks him up and chops him. Gunther applies a sleeper hold, grapevines it around the body, and the referee eventually calls for it, saying that Uso passed out. Gunther wins by referee decision. Now, before we get to the post-match, what do you think of the match itself?
I mean, it was just a standard match, but it was really just the post-match that mattered most.
Yes.
And that post-match, man, that was amazing.
So it was the last minute of the match into the post-match, because we needed the last minute to show that, Jimmy has been beat down. Jimmy has been passed out. So that way when Jay comes down, they can't 2-on-1 Gunther, basically, because Jimmy is knocked out. Jimmy's passed out, So Gunther puts the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist and goes to leave before turning around. Gunther grabs Jimmy and applies a sleeper again when out comes Jey Uso to make the save. Jay takes Gunther down and punches at him. Gunther rolls out of the ring and Jay follows. Gunther retreats through the crowd. Back from a break, we see Jay helping up his brother. Gunther then comes out of nowhere and once again attacks the Usos. The referees and officials and security all come down, but they're not enough for Gunther. Gunther grabs one of the security, power bombs him on the steps. Grabs another one of the security, throws him around, power bombs him as well. He starts just taking out security one by one. Gunther then grabs zip ties from one of the security guards and zip ties Jay's wrist. Gunther then rips at the eyes and attaches Jay to the middle rope. Jay's defenseless. Kind of reminded me of when Randy Orton handcuffed Triple H to the ropes and then screwed with Stephanie. Remember that from back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting those kind of vibes. Different, but similar.
That's one of WWE's most viral clips on YouTube.
Right?
Their most viral one was Cena and Brock brawl.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the one when he handcuffs.
No. The most popular one is the Orton makes it personal Triple H. That's the one where he screws with Stephanie.
Yeah, where he kisses her and he's gonna punt her and knocks her out. But this gave me similar vibes. Which
guess what the second most viewed one is? Sorry to cut you off.
Cena turning on Cody.
No, it's Cena Rock versus Miz and R-Truth.
The second most watched video on their YouTube?
Yep.
From 2011?
Yep.
Damn. Survivor Series 2011 inside Madison Square Garden.
Third one is stunning in-ring proposals, top 10, and fourth one is Cena and Brock into a brawl that clears by the entire locker room.
Nice.
So,
but yeah, no, we've seen this before, not just the Triple H one. Like someone gets handcuffed and then they're made to watch their friend or family member or whatever get beat up. Anyways, so Jay's defenseless. Gunther grabs Jimmy and whips him hard into the barricade. Gunther kicks Jay and grabs the world championship. Jay gets in the ring, but can't really do anything because, he's tied up. Gunther taunts Jay and says he'll never get this title. Gunther turns and sees Jimmy trying to get into the ring. He runs and smashes him with the belt. Gunther tells Jay, "Look at what you made me do to your brother." Jimmy crawls back in the ring, and at this point, he's busted open. I assume he gigged. I don't think just the shot from the belt actually busted him open. I think he juiced on purpose. But holy shit, did he bleed a lot. Like, he bled a lot. To the point where half of Gunther's body, at least upper body, was covered. Like, great visual here. Gunther holds Jimmy's face right in Jay's face for him to see. Gunther delivers a massive powerbomb to the bloody Jimmy Uso. Jay is desperately trying to break the zip ties, but he can't. Gunther lays in some more vicious clubs to Jimmy's head, covering his own forearms with Jimmy's blood. Gunther licks at the blood. That I thought was a little much. And then he spits it out. Crowd gasps in horror. Jay grabs at his brother, but Gunther pulls Jimmy away and applies the sleeper. Jimmy is gushing blood at this point from the forehead. WWE officials rush the ring, and they get Gunther to release the hold. Jay then cradles his brother's head. Jimmy is wearing a crimson mask at this point, similar to Triple H WrestleMania 20 when his face was completely covered in blood. And yeah, great visual here. I thought this was freaking great, amazing, fantastic. I loved this post-match angle because now it's not just, all right, Jay won the Rumble. He's going to go challenge Gunther. Now he's fighting for his brother's honor. Gunther almost killed his brother, and now he's out for revenge. And the revenge is, I'm going to beat you a Mania and take your belt, boy. What'd you think?
Oh, yeah. This was pretty good. I mean, Jay's going to win for sure. No doubt about it. Is this the best angle for any match so far leading into Mania? Other than maybe the Cena, Rock, Travis Scott, Cody thing? Top 3.
What would you say is the other one?
I would say probably like Roman, Seth, and Punk beating the crap out of each other at Rumble.
Really? Because I thought their contract signing was better than that.
The contract signing was pretty good.
I thought all three men were great in that contract signing.
I thought the contract signing was probably better.
Yeah.
Like Punk crying and Seth Rollins all pissed off.
I gotta clean up your mess again. I love that. Speaking of that, they had a recap of that segment next here on Raw. They then promoted Pat McAfee's upcoming show in Pittsburgh, stating that, hey, if you didn't get tickets, it ain't sold out anymore. They've moved some things around, changed some things production-wise, and they've got 1,700 more tickets available going on sale this Wednesday. They then talk about what happened last week in the Intercontinental title match with Braun Breaker and Penta and Dominic Mysterio and Carlito and Finn and all them. And that leads to a backstage segment with the Judgment Day. Finn Balor is talking with Dirty Dom and Carlito. Women's Tag Team Champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walk up. Balor says, brothers, fight like cats and dogs. Now, the talk of adding a new member is behind them. Balor tells Rodriguez, hey, sorry about your tough loss last week, but I'll bring an Intercontinental Championship back to the clubhouse. Don't worry about it. Balor and Dom walk off. Raquel is standing there with Liv. Realize Carlito's still there. I'm like, what are you doing still here? And he's like, oh, what do you mean? What am I still? And Liv's just like, Carly, go help them. Go with them. That was funny. Carly was always like just hanging around Raquel. Never wants to leave her side. Rodriguez then says that they need to do something about Bayley and Lyra. No, Morgan says that, and Raquel agrees. So I know next week we're getting Lyra defending the title against Bayley. But what if that match ends in like a no contest or a disqualification or something, and then leads to like Lyra and Bayley teaming up against Liv and Raquel at Mania for the tag titles? So then that way you don't have to have, like, yes, it would suck, but then you don't have to have Lyra defending the Intercontinental title. You just put the Intercontinental Champion in a match for the tag titles. What would you think of that?
I don't know. I mean,
it does devalue the women's IC title, though, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's the only problem. It's going to devalue one title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my only issue.
Right. So moving forward, Penta makes his entrance. He's going to team with Braun Breaker against Judgment Day. He gives us a sneak peek of episode 2 of Stephanie's Places. Episode 2 will feature her talk with Cody Rhodes. Also, speaking of, I'll pull something up. WWE trademarked some new podcast names, it sounds like. WWE has filed a number of new trademarks. The Raw Recap, which is their new Raw Recap podcast. It's been going for, since the beginning of the year. WWE has actually trademarked 6 Feet Under with the Undertaker, which is very interesting because The Undertaker's podcast is actually 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway. So are they changing the name and it is now WWE produced? That I'm not sure about. Because it's, and I could tell you right now because I subscribe to that podcast and I have it. So it is, if I just go to like my YouTube music where I listen to podcasts, it is the official name for Undertaker's current podcast is podcasts. Yeah, because it is, and I just had it and it switched screens. Yeah, 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway. But WWE trademarked the name 6 Feet Under with The Undertaker. That's an interesting one. They also trademarked the name What Do You Want to Talk About, which Cody has kind of already started doing. He did like a 4 or 5 episode little thing where he would talk to different wrestlers and it was all a tie-in with the Wheatley vodka. I think he did one with Truth, Miz, Randy, and there might have been one more. I can't remember though, where he talked to them in his bus. And then there's another one which we knew it was coming, but I think it's the first time we've gotten the name. It's called What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. Or actually, What's Your Story with Steph McMahon. So we knew Stephanie was working on a podcast with for WWE. Now I think that might be, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. It might be the first time we've heard the name What's Your Story with Steph McMahon. But the one that gets me the most is the Undertaker one. Because it's like, that's a different name than his actual podcast. Is WWE taking it over? I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with like the WWE podcasts and stuff. Like, I still need to like look at the Stephanie McMahon's thing on ESPN.
So yeah, it's on ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus. But that's, yes, sorta WWE, but that's more of an ESPN Omaha Productions project. You know, Peyton Manning's company. But WWE did have, go for it. You're gonna say something real fast?
You can continue.
Oh, so WWE did have like a little podcast network thing kind of going at one point. They had that Corey Graves podcast. They had the New Day podcast. Alexa Bliss had a podcast. And then like Truth kind of had a podcast, but it was more like a game show kind of thing. But then like those all just fizzled out. So, but the New Day podcast, that's where we got big meaty men beating meat or slapping meat. That's where that came from. That New Day podcast. But yeah, so it looks like WWE might be starting up another podcast thing. Who knows? We'll see. Then we had the tag match, Penta and Bron Breakker against Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. Before the match, Breakker and Penta kind of argued a little bit. Penta started off the match with Dominic. He's going to try not to burp in the mic. Balor rips at Penta's mask at one point when he comes in and Mysterio attacks from behind. Mysterio stomps away at Penta. Wade Barrett promotes the debut of Penta's brother. Like, they're not shying away from saying it. They said, oh, and in case you guys didn't know, we'll be in Chicago Friday for SmackDown, and Penta's brother, Rey Fenix, will be debuting. So, like, they really pumped that out there, too, during this. So, it's like, I guess they know everybody knows, so they're not going to try and shy away from it and make us feel dumb, which is good.
Huh? I said true.
Yeah. So Mysterio avoids a second press slam from Bron Breakker after getting one already and tags in Finn. Balor then sends Breakker into the ropes and goes for a leapfrog, but Breakker counters into a power slam. Breakker attacks Balor in the corner and then tags in Penta. After a commercial break, Balor is attacking Penta in the corner. Mysterio tags in and hits some shoulder thrusts. Mysterio connects with a snapmare. Balor tags in and hits a slingshot stomp. Mysterio tags in and uses a slingshot somersault senton for a 2. Mysterio pulls Penta up and stands up for the 3 amigos. 1 amigo, 2 amigo, but Penta counters the third. Breakker and Balor then tag in. Breakker hits a pair of clotheslines on Balor before punching Mysterio down. Breakker hits Balor with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex. Mysterio meets the same fate. Breakker then 1 point pulls the straps down and lifts up Balor. Balor rakes at the eyes and hits the ropes. Breakker follows this and hits the ropes repeatedly, ridiculously fast, and hits a hard clothesline. Penta tags in. Penta then flies off the top rope with a reverse sling blade on Balor out of an electric chair, and Penta goes for the cover. 1, 2. Dom breaks up the hold, or breaks up the pin. At one point, it all breaks down. They're all fighting this, that, and so forth. Balor then turns the tides as he awaits Breaker to charge for a spear. Mysterio shoves Penta into Breaker, and Breaker accidentally spears his partner, Penta. Mysterio then knocks Breaker out of the ring. Balor connects with the coup de grace on Penta and pins him to pick up the victory. Penta's first pinfall loss here. He lost and got pinned by Finn Balor. I thought it was a good match. We know where it's leading to. It's leading to one of two things: a triple threat or a fatal four-way. I'm not sure if it's going to be the four-way. That's the rumor, but it could be a triple threat as well. It could either be Braun Breaker defending against Finn and Penta, or Finn, Penta, and Dirty Dom. What do you think of the match? And where do you think they're going for Mania?
I think it's going to be a fatal four-way.
Same.
I can honestly see at Mania, like, maybe like Penta's down and like Finn and Dominic are trying to get the pin, and they're like maybe Dom's like, "What are you doing?" And Finn's like, "I'm trying to win the match." And then maybe it could lead to a brawl between the two.
Right. Fighting over who's going to actually win. So let me go to the back. Chad Gable's with Adam Pearce. Gable puts over El Grande Americo last week. Pearce says that Gable is still sick. I heard you. You got a doctor's note for me. Pearce says it's a shame because next week we're in your neck of the woods, Minneapolis. I thought maybe you'd want a match, but no. You're still sick. He goes, no, I'm fine. I'll be good to go by next week. Trust me. And he's like, nah, I don't need it. We already got somebody else booked for the show. El Grande Americo will have his first match on American soil. And at one point, Chad's like, I'd love to have a match against that guy one day. So Chad's all mad. He goes to walk away, and there are Alpha Academy or Alpha Babes, whatever you want to call them. That's what their shirts say. He looks at him and goes, hey, clowns, idiot, as far as Otis's go. So Maxine walks up, and she goes, Anna Pierce, we'd like to talk to you about a little tag team situation. He goes, yeah, I always love furthering the tag team division. What can we do with Otis and Tozawa? She goes, yes, I'd love to talk about them. But also, I've been talking with Natty, and we've been running a few ideas around about, teaming up together. He goes, oh, I'm interested. Let's get everybody together and talk. So it looks like Natty and Maxine are going to become a tag team. Cool. I mean, if you see their social medias, they're always together. Always together. Don't expect them to win tag titles, though.
Yeah, no.
Oh, we got Rhea Ripley preparing for her world title match elsewhere. They show Io Sky getting ready with Dakota Kai. Kathy Kelly then interviews Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker, but it's quickly broken up with a furious Penta. Penta is held back by officials. Penta calls Breaker stupid and insults the spear that he thinks he gave him on purpose. Or insinuates, not insults. So he thinks that Braun speared him on purpose, not that, Dom caused it. So, four-way, here we go. So moving forward. So you guys may or may not have saw this. There was a lot of weird things going on with who saw commercials and who didn't see commercials tonight. I don't know why. They did the same thing last week too. Some people saw them, some people didn't, even if you're on US Netflix. But so they're talking during the break, and it was Karrion Kross with, I want to say, Jackie Redmond, and he's just talking about AJ Styles. And he's like, hold on, I want a social experiment here. I want the crowd, I'm going to chant to 3, and I want the crowd to chant for their favorite villain. And I think that he's trying to get them to cheer his name. So he's like, 1, 2, 3, and they're like, they say a bunch of different things. The crowd's barely paying attention to this. They don't even fucking care. It's during a break, whatever. He's like, oh, I heard it. I heard a couple people. They cheered for AJ. I've told you, AJ's the villain. And so, yeah, he's just trying to put over, AJ Styles is not as great of a guy as he says he is. I don't know where this is going. But then they talk about how, next up, Logan Paul is going to call out AJ Styles. And then AJ just comes out. Logan didn't call him out at all. AJ comes out instead. You could say Logan Paul calls out AJ Styles and AJ comes out before Logan. Very weird. Anyways, come back from the break and AJ's already in the ring. The crowd is chanting for him. Styles mentions that Logan Paul wanted to call him out. Well, I'm tired of waiting and I'm not going to wait no more. Let's go. So he calls out Logan instead. Logan Paul music hits, and I'm going to just say it right now. Is Logan Paul getting worse on promos? I feel like every week he's getting worse on promos.
A little bit.
I don't know if he's just trying to play a character and he's overdoing it, or he's just not good being fully scripted. Because I know when he first started, he was not playing a character because they were trying to make him be a babyface. So he wasn't trying to be a hated heel. You know what I mean? And from what I had heard, he wasn't fully 100% scripted. Partially, but not fully. And so it's like, I think, A, he's not good at trying to play a character, and B, he's not good with scripted lines. Again, he's not an actor, so yeah.
He's acted in a few things, though.
But you know what I mean. Anyways. I mean, now I'm trying to think, what has he been in? I know his brother was in a Disney Channel show for a while.
I know he was in like a crime show where he was supposed to be like this.
Logan?
Yeah.
Oh, that I didn't know. I'm gonna look up his IMDb. Let's see, because I know his brother was on that Bizarrevark show for Disney Channel. Let's see. I mean, he's been doing acting things off and on since 2006. Well, 2014 actually. He did one episode of Law and Order.
Yeah, Law and Order, that's what it was.
He played a character named Ryan in one episode, 2015. See any other notable shows he's been on? He did an episode of Bizarrevark, but that was because he was playing his brother's brother on the show. He did 4 episodes of something with The Rock's production company. I don't even know what it is.
Oh,
It says.
Yeah, he was in Baywatch.
Was he?
You remember he was like, "What's your name?" "I'm Zane."
I saw that movie once and it just left my mind. I'm going to be completely honest.
He was playing this guy who's supposed to like try out to be a lifeguard, but he got caught like bullying like one of the other competitors, so that he was told to leave. So he was trying to be like, "Come on, I'm Zane."
All I'm going to say is Baywatch is not listed on his IMDb.
He was in Baywatch. I know that. Just look it up on YouTube. You can find it.
I'm looking at it right now. Logan Paul Baywatch. Oh yeah, there it is. Weird that they don't have it listed on his IMDb.
It was probably a deleted scene, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Well, yeah, he's done something.
Extended Logan Paul cut. So yeah, it was probably deleted.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, no. Like the more and more he's trying to play this hated heel character, the worse he gets. I'm just gonna say it. So Logan's music hits, comes out with a loud boos. Paul grabs the mic and says Styles wouldn't understand because he doesn't have the same level of fame. As a global phenom who is extremely rich, loved by everybody, and good looking, everyone is on his time. And he kept playing that up a lot. You're poor. You're broke. You ain't got no money. I'm like, okay, enough with that. Now he's getting old. He kept yelling at fans, you're broke. You broke. You're poor. I'm like, what the fuck? He says the global phenom. Oh no, I read the line already. Paul wants to make the crowd wait, then they'll wait. They all have to do what he says. As for Styles, Paul's then cut off. And the crowd starts chanting, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Paul says, they said a change of heart. I'm a girl dad now. I'm trying to teach my daughter the art of forgiveness. The crowd boos. Paul says that he forgives Styles for what he did to him at Madison Square Garden. However, he doesn't forget, so he better not do it again. Crowd then chance to do it again. Styles says, I'm a girl dad too. And I know all about, forgiveness and whatnot. Paul is confused and asks why Styles forgives him. Styles says, quote, I forgive you, Logan Paul, for being the biggest douchebag to ever step foot in the WWE ring. Crowd cheers big. Pops for that. Styles says that Paul brags about his success and his money. The fans don't care about any of that. They care about what you're willing to sacrifice for them in this ring. Paul has all the talents in the world, but in this business, talent will only get you so far. What is Paul going to do with it? Is what is going to happen. Paul says, and he'd ask Styles for advice, but they say you shouldn't take advice from people that you wouldn't want to trade places with, and he wouldn't want to be AJ. Crowd chants at Paul. Paul tells the London crowd, "You're broke. You're poor." Styles tells Paul to not write a check that his ass can't cash. Paul asks if that's a threat or not. Styles then says, "This is Monday Night Raw and we're in London, England." Styles like, "I'm in my gear. We're in the middle of a ring. Let's go." Paul's like, I bet not. Paul thinks he's done talking. Paul says, I don't fight for free, and this city can't afford me because they're broke. Paul then points to the crowd and says, I got better places to be, bigger places to fight. Paul says to Styles, "You only want one thing. You want to fight me with that big payday match. Maybe we should do it somewhere else." And he points to the WrestleMania sign. Paul goes to kick AJ, but AJ blocks it. AJ punches away at him. He goes for a Styles clash, but Paul gets out of the ring. Styles follows him out and ducks a right hand. Styles then slams Paul's face on the commentary table and pushes him back into the ring. Paul quickly snaps the ropes in Styles' groin as he enters into the ring. Paul then connects with the Paulverse, or whatever they call it. Paulversy. There's some weird name they got for this move. And then he walks off, standing tall over AJ. This is just okay. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was just all right. I'm not really hyped for this match at all.
But here's the thing. I'm not hyped for it either. But then at the same time, I know it's AJ Styles and Logan Paul, and they could probably have a pretty dang good match. Like, looking at, what we know AJ can do, the matches that Logan Paul's had in the past, this could be a sleeper match. Like, the story's not there. There's literally really no story to it. But I feel like the match should deliver.
Most likely, yeah.
Jackie Redmond's in the back with Lyra Valkyria. She asked her about defending the title last week against Raquel. She says that she's glad that she's defended the title yet again, but there's a blemish on her record. Since winning this title, she's lost once to Bayley, and she wants to erase that blemish. So next week, she is going to defend this title against Bayley, hopefully defeat Bayley, retain the title, and then move on. So there we go. Bayley versus Lyra next week for the title. We get a recap of Jimmy Uso getting beat down. We then get 3 things announced for next week. Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley. El Grande Americano is in action. And Seth frickin' Rollins will appear. So those 3 things have officially been announced for next week's show as I get the poll going on Twitch. Before we talk about our main event, what did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Ooh, Trey's got a good question there, which I didn't even think about. Oh, it's the pulverizer. Okay, thank you. Did they just suddenly drop the Bayley Roxanne stuff? They might have. They haven't talked about that since Chamber.
When was the last time we seen Roxanne?
Chamber?
Yeah. Someone else asked, "Hey Luke, what you react of Mark Nash as the new ring announcer for SmackDown?" I haven't even listened to Mark Nash yet. Is he any good?
He's okay. He just sounds like a mix between Mike Rome and Greg Hamilton. He's just another one of them with the big hair. That's all he is.
Was Greg Hamilton the guy that got fired from WWE because he threatened to use WWE lawyers?
Basically. Yep.
I like Greg Hamilton.
Oh, actually. I did too. I thought he was really good.
Is he with Maple Leaf Pro now? Or who? No, that's not him. That's the commentator.
Oh, you're thinking of Mauro Ranallo.
Mamma mia.
Yeah. You're thinking Mauro. Mauro does commentary for them. I don't know who they're ringing. Oh, no. I don't know who their ring announcer is.
I'll probably find that out later.
Backstage, Judgment Day are celebrating. Finn says that he beat Penta, got the better of Braun Breaker for the 2nd week in a row. Balor says, "You know what? I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce to get a title match made." Balor walks off. Liv then tells Mysterio, "Balor is taking credit for the victory that you helped cause." Morgan says, "You know what? I'll go talk to Pearce and get something done as well." And Dominic's all confused. I think that's how we're getting our 4-way. Balor goes to Pearce and says, "Hey, I want a shot." Liv then goes to Pearce and says, "Hey, if Finn's getting a shot, Dom should get a shot too." And then they both get at it independent. So I think that's how we're getting the 4-way because Liv's going to go stick her nose in it. Speaking of sticking her nose in it, Bianca Belair was made to stick her nose in this world title match when Adam Pearce said that she's got no choice but to be the referee. Women's World Championship on the line. Io Sky defending against Rhea Ripley with, again, Bianca Belair as a special guest referee. So the bell rings and they lock up. Sky applies a side headlock. They bustle a little bit into the ropes before Belair counts and separates them. They lock up, and Ripley powers Sky to the corner before hitting a shoulder thrust. Ripley then punches away at Sky before Belair pulls her away. Ripley's not happy with Bianca. Sky jumps on Belair and knocks her into the corner with punches. At one point, Sky hits the ropes and does a double handspring before hitting a drop kick. Ripley then bounces off the ropes and clotheslines Sky down, going into a break. Coming back from the break, Ripley is unhappy with a pin count from Belair that I guess just happened that we didn't see. Ripley then gets in Belair's face before turning back to Sky. Sky lights Ripley up with some strikes, followed by a running drop kick. Ripley reverses a whip into the corner, and Sky knocks her back with a pendulum kick. Sky then knocks Ripley out of the ring with a missile drop kick. Sky hits the ropes and takes Ripley out with a suicide dive. Sky quickly rolls into the ring to reset Belair's count. Sky then sets up for a Nasai moonsault, but Ripley catches her in the electric chair position. Ripley slams her down on the apron before powering her back into the ring. The two go at it for a moment before they exchange some right hands and some knees and whatnot. Sky gets the better of the exchange before Sky knocks her down. Ripley then goes for a slam, but Sky rolls through a double stomp into the midsection. Ripley goes to the second rope and gets her in an electric chair position. Sky then goes for a poison run off the second rope, but Ripley powers her up. Ripley then goes for one off the shoulders on the dive. It looks like Ripley is going to hit a Samoan drop off the second, but apparently Sky was supposed to counter, I guess, into a crucifix. This is all kind of weird looking. Weird. But then it eventually just does happen. Sky gets a 2, and the crowd chants this is awesome because they did something off the middle rope. At one point, they're going back and forth. Ripley powers Sky up and goes for a riptide, but Sky fights it. Ripley powers her up and connects with the Razor's Edge, followed by a Shining Wizard for a 2. Sky then is knocked out at this point, but not enough to where she can't kick out. Ripley couldn't believe it. Ripley goes for a German suplex, but Sky does a standing switch. Ripley elbows Sky and goes for a big boot. Sky moves. Ripley then hits Bianca instead, knocking her out of the ring. Ripley then hits a riptide. Goes for the pin. Gets all the way to like an 11 count from the crowd. But there's no referee. Ripley then had her pinned multiple times. She tries again. Still no referee. Belair then gets to her feet and yells at Rhea. Ripley shouts at Belair, get in the ring. Belair enters the ring. Ripley goes for the cover, but only gets a 2. Io kicks out. Belair then holds her jaw and holds up the 2 fingers. Rhea then yells at her and that's a 3, and they start to argue and this and that and so forth. Ripley even gets in Bianca's face. Belair then shoves her away. Sky grabs Ripley, but Ripley takes her down and punches at her. Belair then rips away. Ripley swats at Belair's face and throws jewelry at her. Ripley then realizes what she did. Ripley turns and avoids a missile dropkick from Sky, but Sky hits Belair instead. Belair then rolls out of the ring and calls for the bell. Signals double disqualification. This ending was shit. I did not like this. I thought it started off as a good match, and then once they had to do the whole Bianca's getting mad and Bianca's getting hit and Bianca's getting taken down thing, no. So, like, it was a match where it started good and then kind of just fell off. So, Bianca calls for the double DQ. Io retains the title, and all Michael Cole keeps saying is, well, Rhea's out. Io's going to defend against Bianca. That's your WrestleMania match. That's your WrestleMania match. And no. It's going to be a triple threat with Rhea, Bianca, and Io. What did you think of all this?
I don't know. I didn't really like the ending. I thought my whole issue with this is like timing. They don't really have much time to like build any more up. So they need to announce it.
Well, not even that. Then afterwards, Rhea just whoops them both ass and knocks them both out, stands up with the belt. Like, literally, after the match, Rhea takes them both out by herself. So it's like, okay. Not the biggest fan of it. With all that, that was Monday Night Raw. That's what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Raw. We go check the polls really fast. Refresh all of these. Beep. So as far as the Threads poll does go, 55% liked the show. 45% thought it was just all right. As far as the X poll does go, 86% liked the show. 9% thought it was just all right. And 4% didn't like it. Moving forward, as far as the YouTube community poll does go, 85% liked the show, 11% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 83% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. Finally, everybody that voted on Twitch did like the show. So, yeah, seems like the majority liked the show more than not. But with that, Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back live on a Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, the final Dynamite for the Dynasty pay-per-view. So with that, guys, have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right, real quick, if you guys are still watching on Twitch, we're going to hit a